I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Trustees of the East Long Meadow Public Library on the 7th of July. It's 6:10 for the purpose of the agenda, one of which is to discuss people we recommend as library director, and secondly, to discuss the future of this committee. I don't think we have minutes to distribute or a library director's report.
I'm having major computer problems. But
And they're not, not needed for our discussion today. So I think we can proceed directly to the topic at hand, which is we have carefully searched out the reputation, skills of our first applicant, Ronald Shaw of upstate New York, Elmira area. And what I'd like to hear is a motion to accept him as our nominee to go forth to the council and the interim director for purposes of recommendation, which they've agreed to accept.
So moved.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept Ron Shaw as the applicant that will press forward to the town manager and the town council.
Okay.
I'll
It's
second that.
been so moved,
Okay.
and be glad to extract it for you if you. I served as secretary once, and I used to hear "so moved." I never knew what had gone before.
That's right.
I had to ask him, state it again. And I assume that's been seconded and is up for discussion. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say on the topic?
No, I hope we
I
can
think
get
this-
him.
I hope we can get him.
Yeah.
He's extremely qualified.
Yeah.
And would be a good fit here, I think.
For the record, I did speak to all the other references that Mr. Shaw made, including one at noon today to the person who got left out. I think I have a list here. I spoke to Pursuti before, and one of you spoke to John Savage. Did you?
I had talked with
You
him.
had him?
Yes.
And you spoke to Brian Hildreth, is that
Right.
right? I spoke to Jill Palermo today, because that had been left out, and people who had reported to him, Mrs. Kratz and Mrs. Poppendek, all of whom gave very optimal references in terms of warmth and behavior, excellence in doing the task, and raising staff morale. I see no negatives to his application at all.
Well, we didn't either. We thought he was
Very
gonna be an
positive.
excellent choice.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. We ready for a vote?
I am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we have to do roll call on something like this?
I don't think so. I think what we need to do is compose a letter to Mr. Present
parent.
His spelling is unusual. I think
I think it's
Getting-
P-E-I-R.
E-I-R-E-N-T.
E-N-T.
we're going to have to remember that. And
Mm-hmm.
I've reached an age
His
when I
first
want
name
to.
Bob, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've reached an age when I want to introduce somebody. I let them introduce themselves. I spoke to a friend of mine who said, the same thing happened to me. I was introducing somebody to my wife. Couldn't remember my wife's name, and so he
Oh,
given up the task
Yeah.
completely. So we need to forge a letter to Mr. Parent. How can we do that? Can you write one, or should we all sign it, and all those questions come up?
I think
Would you like to write one?
Yeah, I'll take care of that, and then if you could come in and sign it. I think
Okay.
Bob said if you signed it.
That'd be
it'd
sufficient.
fine. Yep.
Okay, that'd be good. Further comments on that? I have one question. How shall we notify other applicants? One has dropped out, one remains. And I thought I'd call that individual based on our recommendations. Important to keep them informed, because what is very likely is they won't offer enough money, or they don't like the area, because his wife hasn't seen it yet in all its glory. And they may have to open up another search
He
committee.
hasn't gotten another job in the meantime, has he?
Well, he's not saying, he
Well, yeah,
knows how to be
no.
cagey. He's,
Oh, he could.
but he hinted to me, you saw my email.
Yes,
He
I
hint-
did, that's why I asked
Yeah,
that.
he hinted to me that there were other positions, and there are other positions.
Yes, I know that.
And so we take what we get. But as long as we've done our duty, we have nothing to apologize for.
And I think this board has done their due diligence
Yeah, I think so.
from the first day
That's
and
it.
followed step by step. And
Yeah, no, I think it was a good hunt.
Yeah,
Very instructive to all of us, I'm sure.
yeah, sure was.
Comments? No.
No, that's,
The second thing, this committee. So this is the second topic of the agenda. How shall we function as a committee? I was going to propose that we meet at the request of the library director, who, when he was here, or the presumptive, we'll call him the presumptive library director, or Sharon in advance of that, or other events. How shall we function?
You know, I see this primarily would be an advisory role.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and if there's a problem that crops up, or there's a question about something, then Sharon or whoever would come and say, can we meet and talk about this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think this committee should get off the official open meeting law and not have to give 48 hours notice. And I don't see a reason
right, I don't see a
to
reason
be
for
on
that.
TV either.
Right, I don't see a reason for it either. Do you,
And
Sharon?
there are limits in here. I can't just turn to them on the role of committees whose, we've been told, no dealings with equipment, money, buildings,
Right.
or personnel of any
Right.
kind. And
So it would be mostly policy.
it's just policy. And in eastern Massachusetts, I've talked to people who said that their town administrator is telling them to ignore that board because the policy they're talking about is in disagreement with the town's other leaders. And so they meet. They sound and fury signifying nothing. And so I think we need to find our slot where we can be the communicators to the town and from the town to whether Sharon, and we could certainly meet on a regular basis if you want us to. And you could throw things at us and we can puzzle over them.
I don't, honestly, I don't know right now.
Okay.
I mean, we have a meeting set for the end of July.
I'm going to recommend that we,
Because of
Skip.
what's going on, I don't know if you want to meet or not meet. I mean, we might have something to,
well, I'm just gonna say, I think that all the minutes that we have that prior to July 1st, I
Right.
think those should be presented and voted on. I still
Right.
have them lasting. I
Okay.
think that
That's
that's
right.
our responsibility
you're right.
to do that.
Mhm.
And then from there on, it's like, okay, where do we go from
so
here?
the July 27th meeting could be the wrap-up of.
I see that wrap up,
okay.
make sure all of the minutes of our previous meetings, because I know I have one to
I think,
prepare,
yeah, David has
and I think
one.
David's
Yeah.
got one to
Yeah.
prepare.
Okay, well, that's a great idea.
yeah.
That makes sure that there's no record of somebody saying or not saying something that they wish they corrected.
Mhm.
And then what did Bob Parent say about a timeline for a new director? Or did
He could make no promises, of course.
No, I don't know what he
He
said.
hinted that this might go on and not be established at the next visit.
Oh,
Might- It's up to them, we have
Yeah,
no,
all we can do is give it to them
Yeah.
and they can do what they
Well, he
want.
said he didn't want to take it to the next, town council meeting on the 12th unless he is sure that Ron is on board,
Yes.
which might be a little too quick for him.
It might be.
So we might have to wait until the next meeting 2 weeks later, and then hopefully we'll have some kind of indication from him.
Mhm.
So do we have to have some type of representation next Tuesday night in order to formally say that we recommend Ron
no,
for
I
the
think,
position?
I think the
or
letter
no?
that you're going to compose would do that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's what he wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went because, I wanted to see how the
Sure.
machine worked.
Yeah.
It works so far.
Mhm.
Good.
But again, it probably won't come up at the next meeting, on the 12th,
Yeah, okay.
so.
Well, there was, as you saw in that article, there was a long discussion of the library director in that meeting.
Yeah.
They were exchanging
Yeah,
thoughts.
and I brought it up to several of them that night when they met here,
Mhm.
that, how important we thought it was to move quickly on this,
Yeah.
because we don't
They were,
wanna
they were
lose
all
people.
in consent for
They
that.
were,
Mhm.
But if Ron Shaw is reluctant,
right. Well, it would
then
depend on that.
Mhm.
bargaining is always a slow process, I
Right,
guess.
Yeah.
that's right,
Yeah,
And so as long as they're on some track,
right,
we've done our duty.
right.
Mhm.
But I don't think we have to be there.
Okay, I just
Mhm.
wanted to know,
Mhm.
because I just remember having to be before the selectmen when we had to fill one of the slots, and we had to recommend to the selectmen for, I think it was last summer in August. Cindy, you had applied in order to just fill in a slot that was vacated.
Oh, on the
And,
board?
yeah, and
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
we had to do that. and,
Okay.
It was considered an appointment
Right,
rather than,
it was an appointment.
yeah. So
Fill- and
that's
fill
why
the
I was
writing out.
asking is,
Mhm.
we had to be present or some representation
Mhm.
there. But I know it's a whole different
We can.
type of
We
government.
can go.
No, but
Yeah, anybody can go.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
in case, there's a question or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's what I was
Mhm.
thinking about.
Mhm. All right.
And how do we
Okay.
find out if there should be an abide by the open meeting laws anymore?
I asked around, including asking some lawyers, who said you have to talk to your town attorney.
Okay.
Ah, so Mr. Donahue.
Yeah. He's busy as a
Right.
one-armed paper hanger.
I'm sure it is.
And we don't need to know immediately,
Right.
but I think that's one of our things to do. I'd
Okay.
be glad to handle that if unless you
Yeah,
want.
no,
Yeah.
yeah,
I need a reminder, though.
okay. All right. That'll be my part.
And on page 14, there's section 4 in the charter. There's a discussion of members of boards, committees, appointment. May become by the town manager shall become effective unless rejected. Of course, that's the permanent town manager. And there are other parts of this. The acting town manager has to have the approval. And that's on page 11. The powers of the acting town manager. The town council really has sway over the temporary manager. And I didn't leaf through this in a way that was helpful, except to tell you that the things guiding us are in there.
Okay.
Is there anything else? So we'll meet on the 28th.
I think it's the
27th.
27th.
27.
Well, I'll come on the 28th.
I'll
just to
remind you.
keep the spirit of things. 27th. And that's a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll remember that. Anything else before we adjourn?
Mm-hmm.
From you.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Or other comments?
I don't know, is this the last time you're gonna,
Hit the
Yeah.
gavel?
yeah?
It's chrome plated.
I don't know, I think, to me, it's been a tremendous experience.
Sure.
Life is nothing if you don't have a bunch of experiences.
Well, I just want to say, this has been a real education for me, and working with all of you, and all of your efforts have been wonderful, and on behalf of the staff, we all appreciate everything you've done to help us find a new director. So
We appreciate
so thank you.
your input too. We're impressed with your ability to be library director.
Step up to the
Yeah,
plate when we
You
were
would've
like,
been- you
What a
would've been
great
named
job
already.
you've done, Sharon.
Thank you.
You're doing,
Yeah.
not
Thank
done,
you.
but doing.
a real balancing act. you're
Right.
doing.
Okay. Well,
But she's done it with a smile and everything. She's like,
those were smiles.
No?
What?
Yeah, those were smiles.
Those are smiles.
Okay, shall
Yeah.
we vote to adjourn? All in favor of adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, we are adjourned.